Put your trust in the Lord. Your ass belongs to me. Welcome to Shawshank.
Unhook him!
Hello, my name is Ishmael, and I am here to unhook you from the chains of reality and bring you into the world of Shawshank Redemption. Now, I do have to let you know that there are going to be some spoilers. I am here to mitigate as much as I can because I do want you to watch this movie if you never have, and if you have, I want you to watch it again because it is an amazing movie and it deserves creditation when it is due. So, we will be going through a psychological analysis of a look into the movie Shawshank Redemption. Now, what I will be basically going over is all the psychological keys and big major points and really what I believe is important information required necessary to really not understand the movie but to understand the characters and what they're going through based off of who they are. So, let's just get started, all right? You will be watching clips of the movie and then I'll explain it to you so that way we can get like a nice thorough input and output system. If you have any questions, please comment down below. I do work full time, however, and that is why I'm recording this video so that way you will be able to not only see my insights into the movie, but you can discuss it with me, what you thought, things that I most definitely left out because I do want you to watch the movie. And if you've never watched the movie, I want some things to really pop out at you and be like, whoa, I wasn't expecting this. So I'll be here to kind of transform this process to still make the movie enjoyable for you, but for you to also understand what I've gotten out of it from the 100th time of watching it. So let's get started, shall we? Important characters. Now, how can we tell a story without a character, right? I mean, it'd be pretty boring just talking about like a lake and the lake just being, doing lake things. So, our important characters, Captain Hadley, played by Brian Delay. He's actually in the previous scene, same as the Warden Norton, played by Bob Gutton. They were previously, the Warden was the one in the nice suit, and the Captain Hadley was the one in the nice little cap and cap in the uniform. And then we have Boggs, played by Mark Rolston. We have Tommy, played by Gil Bellows. Brooks, played by James Whitmore. Red, played by Morgan Freeman. I mean, come on, it's Morgan Freeman. And we have Andy Dufresne, played by Tim Robbins. Now, I am going to let you know I am not going to be talking much about Andy Dufresne. The reason being is because I will be discussing his character more into the end of it. Reason being is because I feel like if I talk about it now, it's just going to show how much I love Andy Dufresne's character. I connect with it in so many different ways, and maybe that's why I really love this movie. But I'll leave that for later because it really isn't pertaining. If I start talking about Andy, it's not going to pertain to the subject at hand, which is a psychological analysis of the movie Shawshank Redemption. When I talk about Andy Dufresne, it's more going to be my connection with Andy, how I see him, which may be completely different on how you see him. And that's why I'm going to leave him for last, because I'm going to try to remain as unbiased as possible. And with Andy Dufresne, I just can't do that. I relate to him too well. So let's move on to the first clip of our psychological analysis.
But I prefer, I'm the light of the world. He that followeth me shall not walk in darkness, but shall have the light of life.
John chapter 8, verse 12.
The warden prefers that you call him as such. Today we will be discussing our characters, right? So, if we're starting off our characters, we got to start off with the warden. I mean, he was in the first scene, he was in the second scene. It looks like we're going to be talking about the warden. During our discussion, I'm going to be hopping through our PowerPoint. I'm going to be going over the different topics that this scene inspires me to talk about. We will be going through coping mechanisms, we're going through power dynamics, corruption, of course, the guards and warden, hint hint, We're going to be going over hope and what a big deal hope is around this movie and all that it kind of inspires. We're going to be going through personal growth. So, some key points here: how somebody grows. I'll let you sit on this throughout our discussion. Responsibility, being responsible for not only yourself but others as well. Forgiveness, being able to forgive yourself and others. Positive coping methods, because there are coping methods that you can use out there, but are they positive for you? Are they actually helping you or are they hurting you? Finding your own inner peace. That is a huge thing that is discussed about in many different topics, and I'm sure you have many different ideas yourself of ways that you could find inner peace. Please share it below. But I'll be explaining what I believe is how you obtain inner peace, and let me know what you think. And then freedom. Uh, Being free, being able to feel like you have a choice, that you can do something, that you believe in yourself, that you can do. To me, that's freedom. I'll let you sit on that one as well. So, topics related to psychology that we have discussed or that we will discuss: coping mechanisms, like I said before, power dynamics, personal development, so how we kind of grow as human beings, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. We're going to be going over Erikson's stages of psychosocial development, ego, and stages of grief. And if you haven't seen any of these before, please just go look at it real quick. I'm going to be kind of touching on it, but I am assuming the people that I'm talking to at least have some background knowledge of the topics that we've discussed so far throughout the semester. And then topics related to psychology that we've discussed. Part 2, because there's a lot here. We have depression, anxiety, dreams. We're going to do a dream analysis here. Fix versus growth mindset and how that kind of plays into character development, right? Sociopathy and autism. Personal topic about me is that I am autistic. So my view on autism may be different from your view on autism. Just know that everyone's view on autism will be different. That's just the state of reality, and you know, all I can do is explain the best that I can. So let's continue on. Let's go ahead and get started with talking about the warden. So what he does is he controls the whole idea around institutionalization. You see, the warden, he controls everything, right? So if I bring up this picture here of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, you should see it above me. It goes through everything. I mean, everything. It starts off at the basic human survival, what we did for our, depending on your beliefs, the first hundreds and thousands of years that human beings have been alive. Physiological needs, the bare minimum that a human does, like, not that desires, they need. If you do not have this, you do not care about anything else that you see on Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It is not even in your wildest imagination if you are worried about air, water, food, shelter, sleep, clothing, or reproduction. If you're worrying about that, you're not going to worry about your self-esteem. You're not going to worry about whether you love someone or you belong somewhere. You're not going to worry about your safety needs. You don't care about being safe if you're hungry or if you're thirsty or if somebody has just thrown you in a box and you can't breathe. You're not going to care if you're self-actualized, if you feel like a real human being, that you're obtaining to your fullest potential. You don't care. You're focused on eating or sleeping or breathing. Like, though, reproducing is another one. And everything in Shawshank Redemption, because you're a prisoner now. He welcomed you in. I'm just unhooking you for a few minutes before I throw you back into that world. And let me just give you some background information. Everything you know and believe in is gone. You're stuck behind bars, and everything is controlled by the warden and his guards. So Captain Hadley, the warden, those are the two most influential and powerful people that you will find there. Because if you make them mad, you think you got it bad now. It gets worse. You don't want to see that. So the warden here, he's discussing with Andy about how he's so proud of him, right? Oh, you're reading that book I gave you. 'Cause I told you your ass belongs to me now. But you're still putting faith in the Lord. I respect that. Right? That's just a little more control. Yeah, your belief in a higher power is mine to give you. Right? Just think about that power dynamic there. About how he's confining him. He's taking away freedom because he's saying it's mine. Right? That's mine. That's my privilege that I give you. And I'm glad that you took up my privilege. So now I'm going to test you on whether or not you've really been up to what I've been putting out. Right? So he's testing him right now, and he's using the Bible, religion, spirituality, which could be part of his love and belonging. Feeling like he belongs to a group of individuals or spiritual individuals that he resonates with, he's also somewhat taking that away from him. So he doesn't just need to take away his physiological needs, his safety needs, because he's not safe. He's never safe. The guards aren't there to protect Andy Dufresne or Red or Boggs. They're there to protect those walls and make sure nobody leaves and make sure the warden is safe in his office, right? He's happy. Because if the warden's happy, then the guards are happy. If the guards are happy, well, then everybody's happy, right? Because the prisoners, it doesn't matter if they're happy. Because all of their needs have been taken away. So, what we've discussed so far is how the warden basically controls all their physiological needs. So, most likely, you as a prisoner, you're not going to care about anything but your next meal, getting clean water, being able to breathe outside of that cell that you're going to be in, making sure that you get enough sleep because nobody's protecting you, by the way. You're for yourself, so good luck on that one. And you don't really have shelter. You just kind of have a confined space that people can go in and kind of beat you up. So good luck with that one. And everybody knows what happens in prison, so I don't really need to discuss on that. So good luck with reproduction. And let's see, what's the next topic we're going to discuss today?
The first night's the toughest. No doubt about it. They march you in naked as the day you were born. Skin burning and half blind from that delousing shit they throw on you. And when they put you in that cell, when those bars slam home, that's when you know it's for real. Old life blown away in the blink of an eye. Nothing left but all the time in the world to think about it. Most new fish come close to madness the first night. Somebody always breaks down crying. Happens every time. The only question is, who's it gonna be?
Is it gonna be you? If that was you who just walked into that prison, would you be the first one to cry? Personally, I think I would just if I was ever in prison, I'd try my best just to meditate the whole time I'm there. Just meditate and pray. I mean, you're in an environment that literally everything has basically been taken away from you. All you have left is your mind, your soul, and any kind of faith or belief that you have. That's basically all you have left. It's what I believe what prison will be like for me anyways, based off of my life and what I've been through. I hope this point really brings in the fact of what it is to be institutionalized, of what your life would be like if you really were welcomed into Shawshank. Alright, next scene. Don't put your finger in that hole! Just some light comedy to help kind of ease your way into it. This is the scene that we discovered there's a big hole in the wall. And let me tell you, the warden was not happy.
If I were to ever get out, I would never mention what goes on in here. I'd be just as indictable as you for laundering that money.
Don't you ever mention money to me again, you sorry son of a bitch. Not in this office, not anywhere. Get in here now.
I was just trying to set your mind at ease, that's all. Sir, I didn't...
Solitary, a month.
Yes, sir.
So now you may be a little confused here if you've never watched the movie. But basically, the next scene I'm about to show you is going to explain a little bit about this. But do you see the power struggle that we have here? Andy is doing everything for the warden, right? He's taking care of everything for him. And he's reminding him, I'm not going to talk about your money. That's something I'm not going to do. And as soon as he says money, the warden loses it. Now, if we go back to one of our previous slides, I said we were going to talk about ego. That was his ego being hurt, okay? His idea of ego, if you look up what ego is in a psychological sense, his ego was hurt there, okay? His personality went and to protect him. It went to protect him as in, oh, my ego's being hurt. Let me go protect myself. And it was a result in anger. So it's just the habits that we do is the person that we become. And his habit when his ego is hurt is to become angry. That is the true nature of the warden. And this is what happens when you do something the warden doesn't like. You can be a father of two who just did everything that they can to be the best person that they can be. But if you move one step out of line, if you do one thing he doesn't like, remember how I was talking about his reaction is anger? Now this is thoughtful, calculated anger that he did here. As you saw Captain Hadley, because Captain Hadley and the warden, very close, very close. There, you're going to notice that there are a lot of intertwining sections between them. That's his right-hand man. As he walked into the shadows with his rifle, there's no concern on his face. He just did as he was told. And as the warden walked to the dead body of that father, no tears, no spit, no emotion at all. Just, this is what I've done. No regret, barely any change in any type of demeanor, like this wasn't the first time he's done this. Imagine having that kind of warden. Even after how many times I've seen this movie, the emotional sense of what is wrong with this person makes me try to think about what type of mental illnesses that this man must have to be so egocentric that he is willing to take another person's life in a world that was only, this was done, I believe this takes place in like the 1980s, right? So if we think about it just 40 odd years ago, that you would think we'd be more of a civilized manner of taking care of things. Who knows? Stuff like this may still even happen today. But I'm not going to get into that. We're just talking about Shawshank here.
And at a bare minimum of expense to Mr. and Mrs. John Q. Taxpayer.
Of course, Norton failed to mention to the press that bare minimum of expense is a fairly loose term. There are 100 different ways to skim off the top. Men, materials, you name it. And oh my Lord, how the money rolled in.
This keeps up, you're gonna put me out of business.
Ed.
This pool of slave labor you got, you can underbid any contractor in town.
Ed. We're providing a valuable community service here.
Well, that's fine for the papers, but I've got a family to feed. Sam, we go back a long way. I need this new highway contract. I don't get it, and I go under. That's a fact. And you just have some of this fine pie my missus made especially for you. What do you think about that?
That's a nice pie. I mean, every pie looks nice no matter what it is when you put money right next to it. So, what we have here right now about the warden, and how not only he controls all their physiological needs. So the prisoners there, y'all, basically have nothing to look forward to except when they decide to give you your next meal, or when they decide that you can do what you need to do. But they also are taking advantage of you every second that you're there. Every second they're going to use you, and not only are they going to use you, they're going to make money off of you. Prisons make so much money. It's a pretty good investment. If you really want to look at a good investment, you should look into prisons, see how much money they make. It's really interesting. So not only are they going to take advantage of you, but they're going to use you for their own purposes, right? So let me take this away here, just so you can see everything. The guards, the warden, the power they hold over you, using all that power for their own benefit. They're paid to protect you, but instead of protecting you, they use you. It's a really interesting thing when you think about how that would influence you as a person, and what kind of side effects of restricting hope, basically, because you have no you basically have no control of your physiological needs. So the only thing you have is hope. That's a really important topic that we're going to discuss further, because they basically do everything so you have no hope. So far we've went over power dynamics, the hierarchy of needs, right? Talked a little bit about ego and kind of person the warden truly is in his ego, but what he causes for these prisoners, for you, if you were in Shawshank, is depression, anxiety. Sociopathy could be a learned way of adapting to your environment, because you're restricted of so much. Emotions are no longer really necessary, in a sense. You become less of a human being when you undergo serious. To me, this would be traumatic, right? I mean, I've been under serious traumatic things during my life, but this is a traumatic event. I can easily say this is a traumatic event, being institutionalized. And how you can adapt to that because of the situations that you're being put through, because you're being taken advantage of when you should be protected, when you should be giving opportunities to learn, to grow, to become more of a human being. Instead, you're restricted, you're confined, and at times you could be tortured. Let's see what's up next.
Lord, it's a miracle!
Alright, we're almost done. Getting the hard part out of the way, talking about the warden, the guards being institutionalized, the deep stuff. We're getting out of that now. We just have 2 more clips that I'm going to show you that are going to discuss these topics. And just for you one more time.
Lord, it's a miracle!
Byron Hadley, you have the right to remain silent. If you give up the right to remain silent, anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law.
I wasn't there to see it, but I hear Byron Hadley started sobbing like a little girl when they took him away.
Lord, it's a miracle!
All right. Make it easy on yourself, Sergeant.
Stop! Don't need to see any of that. If you want to see that, you can go ahead and watch the movie. This is the last look that we have into who these people truly are, and when they are confronted with the things that they have done, what they do. They cry and they escape. Personally, when I meet my judge, whoever or whatever that may be, if there even is, if I even will be judged, or if you're judging me right now, I'm not crying and I won't be looking to escape, because I've done everything that I can to be the best person I can be. And I feel like that is something that is related to our fixed versus growth mindset. I When I kind of like looked into the fixed and growth mindset and kind of like the positives, the negatives, who's who in that discussion, I would like to say that I'm very much a growth mindset person, and I see Hadley and the Warden as very fixed mindset. That they aren't going to continue to try to strive to be better, and I will constantly strive to be better, because I can see a world where we won't need prisons and we won't need people to be in such an environment, that we could find a way to punish people by helping them. You know, the phrase kill them with kindness. That's what I feel like is another big factor of when I watch this movie. It makes me think about the kind of world that we live in and how we treat people sometimes. And in this movie really signifies and brings out of the aspect like what these people go through. And then what if we were to have somebody who wasn't supposed to be there? If you believe you're innocent in everything that you've done so far, that you're a good person, that you followed the law, but you were still brought into these circumstances, how would that change you as a person? Leave your comments below. I know how that would make me as a person. Because of the person that I am, like I said, I'll just meditate and pray the whole time. And whatever life would throw at me, whether you want, they want to shank me, or they whatever, they want to beat me up, they can do whatever they want. But I already know who I am. I already know what I need to do, and I'm confident in what would happen. So let's move on to the next topic. I'm not going to promise you this isn't a very bright and cheery movie. It's not going to be all ha 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 and nice and giddiness. This is just what it is.
Hey, anybody coming to you yet? Anybody get to you yet?
And now we have Boggs. Doesn't he look smooth inside as he says that? But I want you to notice something. Let me bring up this clip here real quick. Did you see that look he gave him? But I'm sure you probably saw everything other than that look the first time. You kind of saw it, but you were more distracted with how he was talking, that slyness. And the thing about Boggs that really gets me, as we see his character develop, right? He's in this, right? Of course, just like all of our characters, he's in this process of institutionalization. He's being confined. There's a power dynamic here. He has power. With just a look, he gets somebody to completely stop doing what they were doing. Now that is interesting. Just looking at somebody and having basically complete control over them with just a look. That's a really interesting power dynamic. He is on the sociopathy topic. We're going to look more into this, right? But hear me out. Being in the situation that Boggs is in, where he's completely confined, he feels less like a human being because of his situation. Having no emotions, not caring about other people, basically bringing yourself down as a human being makes sense. But I'm not going to get too much into that. Let's look more into Boggs right now, okay?
Hey, we all need friends in here. I could be a friend to you.
So this is really interesting, and the reason why it's interesting is because if we look at this scene, right, he's saying, I'll be a friend to you, right? But remember his leading up question. After that, he said, no, I'll be a friend to you. So, like, he's almost saying, do you not understand what I'm saying? You be on my good side, and I'm going to take care of you. Basically, you do what I say, and you'll have protection. And then look what comes further.
Hey. Hard to get. I like that.
Hard to get. I like that. Just think about that for a second, about how he talked about that. He didn't seem like it was disrespectful to bump into him like that. He just said, hard to get. I like that. Like, it's not going to end here. There's more to come. And let me show you what came.
Wish I could tell you that Andy fought the good fight, and the sisters let him be. I wish I could tell you that, but prison is no fairy tale world. He never said who did it, but we all knew.
You do that, and I'll put all 8 inches of the steel in your ear.
All right. But you should know that sudden serious brain injury causes the victim to bite down hard. In fact, I hear the bite reflex is so strong, they have to pry the victim's jaws open with a crowbar.
Every so often, Andy would show up with fresh bruises. The sisters kept at him. Sometimes he was able to fight him off, sometimes not. And that's how it went for Andy. That was his routine. I do believe those first 2 years were the worst for him. Things went on like that for a while. Prison life consists of routine, and then more routine.
And that was Andy's routine for, I don't even want to talk about how long. That was his life. That was his routine, was constantly getting punished for a crime that he didn't commit. Spoiler alert. He was innocent. And the next character that we're going to discuss is going to show us why he was innocent and why he didn't deserve to be put in such an environment. But that's Boggs. He was part of Andy's routine. And just like other people in prison, sometimes they're in a very similar routine. It's okay. She doesn't want to be put in that routine. I don't either.
As it turned out, Tommy had himself a young wife and a new baby girl. Maybe it was the thought of them on the streets or his child growing up not knowing her daddy. Whatever it was, something lit a fire under that boy's ass.
I believe this scene shows the importance of having something to look forward to outside of prison. Because Tommy, he was just being laughed at, right? He's the butt of the joke. He's the new guy in the field, and he's just learning this. He's learning all the new timing, the routine of things, who's who, and what this prison is all about, right? And he comes out to find that Andy, what he does. So one of Andy's coping skills. Only reason I'm talking about it because it plays into Tommy. One of Andy's coping skills is to distract himself, right? Through education and problem solving. So he finds people that need help. He talks to them, lets them know that he's there, he's educated, and he's made a whole library just to help them pass their high school, their high school exams, their things that they want to get. If they don't know how to read, he'll teach them how to read. Like, he does all these things. He even goes out of his way to write a letter a day, then 2 letters a day, to get funds to help people that are in the prison. which is something that is amazing when you think about, because these are people in the prison and they don't even have an actual library to go to. And yet all they have is all the time in the world. All right, so that's a little bit about Tommy. Um, he has hope. So staying positive when the world is against you. He has been now put into a situation where he is right there along with you all in Shawshank prison. And you know what? He's taking responsibility for his life. He's saying, all right, well, I'm here. I got to make the best of things. And now he talks to Andy. And let's see what happens next.
R S T.
So Andy took Tommy under his wing, started walking him through his ABCs. Tommy took to it pretty well, too. Boy found brains he never knew he had. Before long, Andy started him on his course requirements. He really liked the kid. Gave him a thrill to help a youngster crawl off the shit heap.
Lord, it's a miracle!
And the miracle continues on, because next up, Tommy takes his test for his GED.
It's worse. I didn't get a fucking thing right. Might as well have been in Chinese.
Let's see how the score comes out.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you how the goddamn score comes out. 2 points right there. There's your goddamn score. Goddamn cats crawling up trees. 5 times 5 is 25. Fuck this place! Fuck it!
Now, I know what you're going to say, but just hold up, okay? Just hold 1 second. Watch what Andy does here. I know I said I wasn't going to talk about him, but I feel like this is a really important in not only Tommy's development, but just who Andy Dufresne is as a person and how he inspires hope. He does submit that. He takes that, he uncrumples it, he mails it out. And if you want to see what happens, you're going to have to watch the movie. But Andy inspires hope. You know, there's so many little things that we can do, like picking up a piece of paper and mailing it out for someone when they know it's best for them, that in their best intention, they're trying to help them and they do that for them. Like, that inspires hope for humanity. Okay, and I appreciate that about Andy's character, but let's talk a little bit about Tommy here. Now, the way that I see it, there are stages of grief, right? You know, you may know that: acceptance, denial, anger, right? Bargaining, right? I feel like when you're in prison, you lose a part of yourself in a way. You lose your freedom. And I feel like if I were to lose my freedom like that again, I would also grieve. I would be angry like Tommy's angry. I would be frustrated and I would be in denial of the situation that I am going through, and I would be so angry that, you know, he's put in all this time learning all of this and he feels that he's failed. That is a situation where anger is acceptable. However, Tommy went too far. You see, Tommy took his anger out on the thing that was going to help him. He gave up too soon. So sometimes in life, we can be working towards a goal, right? And we're working on it so long. And then something happens, right? It gets in the way, an obstacle. And we see it, like Tommy, he saw the obstacle was that somebody was going to judge him on all the hard work he was doing for who knows, months, years, how long it takes for somebody that his age, if we remember the chapters that we were talking about and the case studies on learning and development and the impacts that it has on the brain and trying to learn a language after so many years of not learning and the impact it can have. But look at what he did. Look, he was able to complete the test for his high school GED. And if he had tried that beforehand, most likely he would have failed. But through his hard work and determination, he got there. However, he gave up too soon. And we should try to take this moment in appreciation that to never give up too soon, that to always keep up that hope and don't fall into grief. If you're going to fall into grief, fall into acceptance, all right? That's, we try to do the best that we can. We can hope as much as we can. But when it comes to grief, when it comes to anger, we just have to fall into acceptance, accept the matter at hand, and do as Andy does and focus on the problem. Solve the problem. That's sometimes the only thing that we can do. And I feel like that's really highlighted throughout the rest of the clips that we're going to talk about, is how to cope through prison and how to live with yourself afterwards. All right, enjoy this next.
Haywood? Wait a minute. What's he done to you?
That's what they done.
I just want you to take a second and rewatch this clip right here and see the determination and anger, and I almost see a little bit of confusion here. Just let me play it again and let me know in the comments what you see here.
Haywood? Wait a minute. What's he done to you?
That's what they done. I got no choice.
Brooks, you're not gonna hurt Haywood. We all know that. Even Haywood knows that, right, Haywood?
Sure, I know that, sir.
You know why you're not gonna hurt him? Because he's a friend of yours and because Brooks Hadlin is a reasonable man.
That's right. Is that right, guys?
Yes. So put the knife down. Brooks, look at me. Put the knife down. Brooks, look at his neck, for God's sake. Brooks, look at his neck. He's bleeding.
It's the only way they'd let me stay.
Come on, this is crazy. You don't want to do this. Come on. Put it down. Hey, come on. Take it easy. It'll be all right.
If you watch the movie, you'll see that the man crying, that is Brooks. The man that was holding the knife to that other man's throat, that was a prisoner. That was a prisoner who's had all freedom taken away from him. He has become, like we'll further learn on, that he's become institutionalized. He has become a part of the prison. This man who is trying to kill another man, that is a prisoner. That is the outcome of what prison creates. However, see that the people in the prison can make a difference. See how Andy, even though he was a prisoner himself, still saw the humanity inside Brooks' eyes. He saw that Brooks was still there, he was hurt, that he was in pain, and that he needed help. And unfortunately for Brooks, all help was being taken away from him.
Been in here 50 years, Haywood. 50 years. This is all he knows. In here, he's an important man. He's an educated man. Outside, he's nothing. Just a used-up con with arthritis in both hands. Probably couldn't get a library card if he tried. You know what I'm trying to say?
Fred, I do believe you're talking out.
Knock it off. Brooks ain't no bug. It's just institutionalized.
Sleeping at night, I have bad dreams like I'm falling. I wake up scared. Sometimes it... Maybe I should get me a gun and rob the foodway so they'd send me home. I could shoot the manager while I was at...
Like I said, that's what prison creates. And unfortunately, it does look like we're running out of time. I believe I have more than completed my assignment at 45 minutes. I believe there is only an hour to actually share with you for her scheduled time. So if I have plenty of more content, so if you want more, just comment below. I'd be more than happy to mash it all together for you. I've edited this myself. I taught myself how to edit videos. So if you saw a couple clips where it was like it's not very like perfect. Yeah, it's not going to be. I actually learned how to do this. Is my first time making a full like YouTube video, editing it. Usually I just throw the video up. This is me actually editing it, clipping different clips from the movie, putting it in here. I should let you know that none of this material of the videos were mine. You know, I'm not saying they were mine. I was just using it for educational purposes. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that nobody was disrespected here for the creation of this video. It is clearly for educational purposes. It is for my class. And any further videos regarding Shawshank Redemption is highly valued. I really appreciate it. I hope everyone has an amazing time. And the only thing that I wanted to say was that hope is possible. No matter what circumstances you go through, watch this movie. Look at Andy Dufresne. Look at what he goes through. And see how hope makes things possible, how setting a goal makes things possible for you. No matter what you've been through, no matter how much you hurt, just remember that there is always hope. If you need somebody, reach out. If you need help, reach out. If you want to feel like somebody can see you, send me a message in the comments below. Send me a direct message. I'm always here for people that need help. That's my life purpose. That's what gives me, that is my biggest coping mechanism, is helping people. Because it makes like all the trauma that I went through, it makes it worth it. Because at least I helped somebody along the way. At least, you know, I didn't hurt somebody. And the fact of the matter is, I probably shouldn't say this, but prison, guards, that type of situation, that just leads to more hurt. And I want to help, not to hurt. And with that, I thank you so much. I hope all of you have an amazing time. I hope you enjoyed watching this videos. I know it was super long, and I just really enjoyed the creative process here, being able to talk about my favorite movie and actually kind of do like an analysis of how it pertains to psychology and the state of not only what it is to be a human being and what it would be like to go and be institutionalized, but also the matter at hand of institutionalization. And when you put it into a prospect of you're a free and you deserve rights as a human individual, and then you're put into a circumstance like this, what does that make prisons? Like, I hope that puts some questions in your mind and wants you to discuss more, and I'd be more than happy to discuss it with you. I just want to make the world a better place, and I hope this video helps not only my grade for this class, but it also helps you in some type of way. It was a pleasure having your attention, and I hope to have it more in the future if you so deem it as a worthy and educational cause. Thank you, and best of positivity to you.
I hope the Pacific is as blue as it has been in my dreams. I hope.